Have you unexpectedly found yourself back in the job search pool? Look, I am not going to candy coat things. The job market is really tough right now. And if you're a job seeker between the ages of 40 and 60, you know that an interview can feel like a minefield, especially when you're asked tough questions that leave you wondering, am I too old? Are my skills outdated? Like, am I outdated? The truth is that interviewers can have biases and concerns about your age, your retirement plans, and things like, why in the world are you looking to make a change now at this point in your career? Well, today I'm going to share with you a proven framework to answer those tough questions with confidence. We're going to look at 4 questions that you will be asked as a mid-career professional, the subtext behind those questions based on my insider perspective, and how to prepare solid answers that showcase your strengths. Understanding the subtext of the interview questions puts you in control because you understand what the interviewer is really asking. Hi, I'm Michelle, a career coach and a former hiring manager with over 12 years experience interviewing people. I have interviewed hundreds and hundreds of people. So whether you are laid off, you have been invited to resign in exchange for a severance package, or you're just burned out and really needing a change, this video is for you. And stick around to the end because I'm going to share a couple of bonus tips. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so that you get the latest updates of career advice. Now let's go ahead and get started. I want to take a quick moment to talk about mindset. First and foremost, you can set the tone of the interview. Every interview you go to, exude professionalism and confidence. And listen, I know that that sounds like generic advice, but the reality is job searches can take a long time. They can be very lengthy, especially in today's job market. But I want you to keep this in mind. If you've been invited to an interview by a company, they are hoping that you are the solution to their problem. So if you've been invited to an interview, just tell yourself, I am the solution to their problem. Head forward with confidence. Okay, let's go ahead and get started with question number 1. Why did you leave your job? The subtext here is you were at this company for 20 plus years. Why leave now? It makes me wonder, were you pushed out, underperforming, or unable to adapt to the changes that the company was making? In other words, I'm worried that this might be a red flag. So for the purposes of this video, we're going to say that our interviewee is looking for a corporate trainer role. Our strategy for this question is to keep it concise and professional. Beware of over-explaining. You don't need to give a whole bunch of information here. You're going to prepare a short and sweet answer. If it's possible, frame this as a company decision, a business decision that is not professional, is not related to performance. So for example, if you've experienced a layoff, or if your department has been cut as a part of a company restructure, then I want you to highlight how this transition actually aligns to your career goals. And I think you already know to avoid any negative talk about your former employer. An example of an answer is, it was a business decision, not performance related. My company underwent some restructuring and I chose to accept a severance package, which gave me the opportunity to pursue a role like this one that aligns with my expertise in corporate training, and I'm excited to bring my background in curriculum development to this team. Or let's say that it wasn't a layoff. Let's say that you had to leave your job for a period of time to be a caregiver to a family member. You can answer in this manner. I left my position to care for a family member during a health emergency, but now I'm in a position to re-enter the workforce. I'm excited by the prospect of this position because it leverages my expertise and experience in corporate training. And then here's a little bonus for you. Let's say that your departure has been lengthy, several months or maybe a year. You want to address any gap there to show that you have been keeping your skills relevant and up to date. Inform them of any courses you've been taking, if you've been volunteering your services, using your skills, or if you've been freelancing or building a portfolio online of your work. This shows initiative. Question number 2 is everyone's favorite. What is your greatest weakness? The subtext of this question is, are you self-aware? Are you honest, and do you acknowledge that you're not perfect and that you do indeed have weaknesses? And then, do you have a process for addressing any gaps that you might have? Especially if we think that your skills might be outdated. So, your strategy for answering this question is to choose something that's not super critical to the role that you're interviewing for. Show how you actively address that weakness and emphasize a growth mindset to counteract any age-related stereotypes that might come to mind to the interviewer. An example of an answer for this question is, I make an effort to be aware of gaps so I can correct them or close them. That shows forethought. For example, training programs can quickly become outdated, and AI is an area that I've identified that will impact my industry. Right now, I'm taking classes to deepen my knowledge, and I'm applying that knowledge to build training programs efficiently and modules that can be quickly updated as the industry changes. Or another example is, I constantly have new ideas that I want to pursue, but I know that that can sideline projects that I'm working on. So I have a process where I store ideas in a journal or spreadsheet. This allows me to focus on current projects completely while efficiently cataloging ideas that may apply to future projects. So the reminder here is ID those weaknesses, then highlight the solution that you've already put in place, showing that you are mindful and you self-direct to close those gaps and make necessary changes. Question number 3, why do you want to work here? When you are interviewing people for a position, you interview a lot of people to find the right fit. And this is a question that is asked pretty early on because they want to know, are you genuinely interested in us, or are you desperate for a job and so you are applying to anything and everything so you'll land a job? And also, it will show this employer if you are just using them as a stepping stone should they hire you. I can tell you right now that when I interviewed people and I asked this question, if the person I was interviewing had no clue about us or did very, very basic research, they were automatically off my list. I was going to close out that interview as quickly as possible because I didn't have time to waste. So your strategy here is to highlight any values that the company has, any projects that they're working on, or anything about the culture of that company that really appeals to you. And then you are going to link who you are, what you stand for as an employee, to who they are and what they stand for as a company. For example, if their culture is very team oriented, then you are going to highlight how you work with teams and how much you enjoy collaborating with others, and you're going to give specific examples of that. In fact, let's go ahead and look at our proposed answer and see how we make that happen. From looking at your website and talking to the people I know who work here, I'm drawn to your commitment to teamwork, and this completely aligns to my collaborative approach to professional development by cross-training team members, which guarantees high-quality training no matter who is facilitating the session. And all of this aligns with my experience in teaching and curriculum development. When you're answering this question, I want you to look at it as your way to build trust, to build rapport, to form a relationship. And now, question number 4. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? And the subtext behind this is, are you close to retiring? Are you wanting a job that you can just set it and forget it? Are you going to continue to grow in your field? What is your plan to remain relevant? And can we count on your long-term commitment to our company? And I know that when I interviewed people, I wanted to know that I was hiring a team member and that they were going to be with us long term. And that's the purpose this question serves. So of course you want to highlight your commitment to the role in the company, as well as any ongoing training and learning. And whatever you do not mention retirement in any way, shape, form. No Mai Tais on the beach. You want to make them feel confident that you are in for the long haul. So a proposed answer to this question is, I see myself growing with this company, leveraging my expertise in corporate training and staying current through continuing education and applying that knowledge in a wide array of contexts. For instance, speaking at conferences to promote the company's initiatives. Whatever you do, share how you have committed to professional growth. And now on to our bonus tips. Bonus tip 1 is dealing with age bias. Age bias is real. We know it happens, but you can counter it. Focus on your energy, your adaptability, and your results. Make sure you work in any recent trainings or projects where you've learned a new skill. And if you're asked about overqualification for the role, say, I'm excited to apply my expertise to this role, and I'm ready to learn new aspects of the industry. It is your confidence and your preparation that are going to make you unforgettable. And tip number 2 is networking. Building a strong network is so important. It is what's going to get you to these interviews to begin with. In fact, 70% of jobs are never publicly advertised. And did you know that depending on the study, somewhere between 65 and 85% of job seekers find their next job through their network? Be on the lookout for my video dedicated totally to networking coming out in the next couple of weeks. That's it for today's guide on interviewing with confidence. Remember, know the subtext, prepare concise answers, and showcase your experience as an asset. For mid-career professionals, these questions are your opportunity to prepare the story that you want the interviewer to remember when you walk out the door. If you want more tips, click on the LinkedIn article that I'm sharing in the description below. And if you got value out of this video, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more weekly career tips. So tell me in the comments below, what is the toughest interview question you've ever gotten? Let's keep the conversation going. Because remember, we are all a body of knowledge, and when we help one another, we make one another stronger. Share this video with a friend who's job hunting right now. And if you want to watch more videos like this one, click on the one showing on your screen. Thanks for watching, friends, and I'll see you in the next video.